Hello, I'm Richard Hunter and welcome to our look ahead for the week commencing the 24th of February. It is pretty much the coronavirus story which tends to dominate global markets at the moment, with the exception of the US, which we'll get to in a moment. What's arguably changed over the last week or so is that we have had any number of warnings from companies around the globe on the real economic impact that the coronavirus is likely to have had. We had, of course, already had something of a profit warning from Burberry in the UK. That's now been followed up by HSBC. We've had something similar from Apple, where the supply chain is disturbed there. They've got a lot of reliance on China for their iPhones. Adding to that particular mix, we've had Adidas, the sporting company in Germany, Qantas, the Australian airline, also saying that there's going to be a real impact. So it rather is starting to seem as though the first quarter is going to be a tough one for many sectors. The UK manufacturing industry is also saying it's seen some breakdown in that supply chain. And of course, on the flip side, the Chinese authorities have already begun to introduce some stimulus measures in an effort to reboot the particular economy. Ironically, on the flip side, there has been something of a boom apparently in the download of apps and games in China as a result of the quarantine. But for the most part, companies are going to be suffering rather than benefiting from the fact that China has come to something of a standstill. There's actually a G20 meeting this weekend as well to discuss some of the measures that could be taken to mitigate the impact of the virus. So with all that in mind, and obviously with our own FTSE 100 index being heavily exposed with the likes of mining stocks, oil stocks and so on, FTSE 100 is down around 2% in the year to date. However, this memo hasn't necessarily reached the US. The US fourth quarter reporting season has just finished. Around 71% of companies actually beat earnings estimates, and in particular, the technology giants continue their inevitable power ahead. The Nasdaq, for example, just in the year to date is up around 8.7%. The other major indices, of which those tech companies are constituents, are the S&P 500, which is up 4.4%, and the Dow Jones 30, which is up about 2.4%. In terms of next week, we've got a number of UK company announcements to look forward to. British Airways owner International Consolidated Airlines has got some full-year numbers with the airline and tourism industry in mind. That'll be an interesting update. Similarly, Associated British Foods have got a trading statement. So in terms of UK retail, we'll see how Primark is getting on. And then we've got a massive set of reports coming through on Thursday of next week. There's probably a whole clutch of FTSE 100 companies reporting. For example, the Standard Chartered will bring the curtain down on the UK banks reporting season. There's also updates from anyone ranging from WPP, Flutter Entertainments, RSA Insurance, Persimmon the house builder, and British American Tobacco. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.